Hello friends, today we are talking about the newest express entry in Canada's immigration. There are changes everywhere, which is good. So the new pathway is category-based selection and it has over 80 occupations. This has never happened in Canadian immigration history. So, is your profession one of them? Keep watching. For those who are new here, my name is Anne, a registered nurse here in Canada. My friends, I am so super encouraged by your watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and even subscribing to this channel. You guys are awesome, super awesome. So if you're there and you have not subscribed and you're getting value from our videos, I kindly request that you may subscribe and put on your notification bell so that you'll be among the first to know when we upload a new video. And before we dive in, I kindly want to state that the information provided on this channel is not considered legal advice, neither am I an immigration consultant. So if you have any need related to immigration, I kindly suggest that you visit the IRCC website and you'll be able to find accredited consultant who will be able to help you with any concerns. So, in May of this year, the former Immigration Minister, Honorable Sin Fraser, announced robust changes to the express entry platform, and these changes were launched in June. And in July, we have been able to see many candidates being invited to apply for permanent residence, starting with the healthcare workers, the French-speaking category, and also this week they are going to have a draw for the trades occupation category. Therefore, I felt it would be unfair for my audience if I didn't cover this topic at this time, given the possibilities that you may be eligible to apply for this immigration pathway. The Express Entry is Canada's flagship application management system for those seeking to permanently immigrate and contribute to the economy of the country. Following consultation with the provinces, the territories, the stakeholders, as well as the review on the labor market, they came up with the changes to allow for selection of candidates with the key attributes that support the economic priorities in the country. Hence the introduction of the 6 categories. And in these 6 categories, you'll find out that it has 83 occupations. So usually or normally the express entry has 3 programs and has 3 programs consisting of the federal skilled worker program, the Canadian experience class, and the skilled trades occupation. Now they have gone ahead and introduced more categories, and that's why this pathway is now called the category-based selection, meaning that they are focused and targeted on certain areas where they identified the needs. So we are going to go ahead and look at the 6 categories and the eligibility criteria for each of them. So all these categories, the candidates must meet the 3 minimum requirements for the express entry program. So the first one being the skilled work experience. So in that category or the occupation that you're applying for, you'll be able to show your work experience, also the education that is related to that work, and also the language ability, whether English or French. So that is mandatory for all the categories that we are going to look for. Number 1, it's the work experience. the language ability, whether French or English, and then the education that supports that work. These category-based rounds of invitations, the eligible candidates are going to be put in an express entry pool, and those are the candidates who are eligible for a specific category. And then from that pool, they are going to rank them using the comprehensive ranking system, whereby the candidates are awarded points based on their language ability, their work experience, and their education. And then the top ranked candidates, they are given the either ITA or the invitations to apply for a permanent resident. And let's say if they are for a certain category, they want like 500 candidates, then they are going to take all the top 500 candidates, and then they are going to invite them to apply for their permanent residence. Number one is the French language proficiency. And I know there are people who have done French as a language. If you're one of them, please go ahead and submit your application. The only thing that you need to show is your test result for the French test with a Canadian benchmark of 7 in all the 4 abilities. That is the reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And also there are the three minimum requirements, and any other requirements that is needed for this category. So number 2, we have the healthcare occupation category, and in this category, for you to be eligible, you must have accumulated at least 6 months of full-time of continuous work experience within the past 3 years, or an equal amount of part-time work experience, either in a single occupation listed or in Canada or abroad. And then you're also supposed to meet the 3 minimum requirements as we mentioned earlier. So in this category, we have 35 occupations. I'm just going to mention a few, and I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can go ahead and check them out. So we have the nurses, of course, the midwives, the audiologists and speech language pathologists. We have chiropractors, we have dentists, dietitians and nutritionists, education counselors, general practitioners. We have licensed practical nurses. We have massage therapists, medical laboratory assistants and related technical occupations, so lab people, medical laboratory technologists, medical radiation technologists, medical sonographers, nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates. So if you have a patient care attendant certificate or a nurse aide certificate, you are eligible to apply if you're meeting the other requirements. Nurse practitioners, we have nursing coordinators and supervisors, occupational therapists, optometrists, other assisting occupations in support of health services. We also have other practitioners of natural healing, even natural healing, other professionals, occupation in health, diagnosing and treating, other technical occupations in therapy and assessment, paramedical occupation. If you have your certificate in paramedics, you go ahead and apply. Pharmacy technical assistants and pharmacy assistants, physician assistants, midwife and allied health professionals. We have physiotherapists, psychologists. I know we have so many psychologists, registered nurses and registered psychiatry nurses, respiratory therapists, clinical perfusionists, and cardiopulmonary technologists. They also need specialists in clinical and laboratory medicine, specialists in surgery, therapists in counseling and related specialized therapies, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners and acupuncturists, and finally they have veterinarians. So if you're a veterinarian, you're also eligible for this pathway. Okay, so going ahead, we are going to look at the number 3 category, which is the STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math occupations. So in this category, the eligibility criteria for them is that they must have accumulated within the past 3 years at least 6 months of full-time continuous work experience or an equal amount of part-time work experience, either in a single occupation or in Canada or abroad. In this category, we have quite a number of occupations here. So we have the architects, and then we have the architecture and science managers. We have business system specialists, civil engineers, computer information systems managers. We have computer engineers, except for the software engineers and designers. We also have computer system developers and programmers, cybersecurity specialists, data scientists, database analysts, and data administrators. They also need electrical and electronics engineers, engineering managers, industrial and manufacturing managers, information system specialists, land surveyors, landscape architects, mathematicians, statisticians, and actuaries. I don't know what that is. They also need metallurgical and materials engineers, natural and applied science policy researchers, consultants, and program officers. They also need software developers and programmers. They also need software engineers and designers, urban and land use planners, web designers, web developers, and programmers. Wow, that's quite a list for that category. So if you know anyone who belongs to that category and may be interested in applying, kindly go ahead and let them know what is happening so that they can be able to submit their application. So going on to number 4, we have trade occupation. And remember, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, this week they are having a draw for trades occupation. And in trades occupation, the eligibility criteria for this category is that they must have accumulated within the past 3 years at least 6 months of full-time continuous work experience or an equal amount of part-time work experience, either in a single occupation or in any other occupation, as I am going to show you here shortly. And this experience may be either in Canada or abroad. So who are in this category? So in this category, we have residential and commercial installers and servicers. We have elevator constructors and mechanics. We have machine fitters, heating, refrigeration, and air conditioning mechanics, construction millwrights and industrial mechanics, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, welders and related machine operators, contractors and supervisors, other construction construction trades, installers, repairers, and servicers. And then number 5, we have transport occupations. In transport occupations, the criteria is the same. 6 months of full-time continuous work experience in the past 3 years, either in a single occupation, either here in Canada or abroad. And not forgetting the 3 minimum requirements for express entry platform. So in this category, we have quite a number of occupations here. I'm just going to mention them here. They're just a few of them. So we have aircraft assemblers and aircraft assembly inspectors, transport truck drivers. Transport truck drivers, where are you? Here is an open opportunity for you. Railway traffic controllers and marine traffic regulators, engineer officers, water transport, deck officers, water transport, air traffic controllers and related occupations, air pilots, flight engineers and flying instructors, aircraft mechanics and aircraft inspectors. They also need railway men and women. Wow. Managers in transportation. Oh, where are you people? This is quite an open pathway with a lot of opportunities and flexibilities for so many people who may need to immigrate to Canada and help with the economy of Canada. So number 6, this is the last category. We have agriculture and agri-food occupation. So the eligibility criteria is the same as the other 6 months of full-time continuous work experience or an equal amount of part-time work experience, either in a single occupation here in Canada or abroad. So if you meet all those requirements, go ahead and submit your application. In this category, we have 3 occupations, and this is contractors and supervisors, landscaping, ground maintenance and horticulture services, agricultural services contractors and farm supervisors, butchers, retail and wholesale. Butchers, whether retail or wholesale, we need you here in Canada. So basically, those are the 6 categories and the eligibility criteria for each of them. And therefore, if you know any person or any friend who may benefit from this pathway, go ahead and share this information with them. You never know, probably they will be able to get their ITA and be able to immigrate to Canada. Please go ahead and check out the IRCC, that is Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada website, and submit your application in the Express Entry platform. So I wish you all the best with your application and see you in our next video.